Good morning, 3-4s. Today we are learning how to divide by two-digit numbers, and I know this has been a focus across the past few days, but it's really important that we're practicing this skill over and over because it is a really tricky one to grasp. So just to revise over the parts of our division problem, we've got 783. That is called our dividend. That's the number that we begin with and we're dividing apart. Then 12 is our divisor. And our answer we call our quotient. Today I'm going to introduce you to a little acronym that's going to help you remember those steps that you need to take when solving this division problem and using our extended algorithm. So dirty monkeys smell bad. Dirty stands for divide. Monkey stands for multiplied. Smell stands for subtract. Bad stands for bring down. And then you repeat this process until you have no other number left to bring down, and then you should have your answer, which may divide, the equation may divide evenly, or you might have a remainder at the very end. So we're going to keep dirty monkey smell bad in our mind while we're solving these problems. Now I know Mrs. Elbay has been showing you a strategy of trial and error when you're working through two-digit problems. Today, I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and this is another strategy that you can use. But remember, you do what works best for you. So because I'm doing my dividing by 12, my divisor is 12, I know I'm going to have to be familiar with my 12 times tables. But if you think about your 12 times tables, it's just your 10 times tables plus your 2 times tables. But just to help me, I'm going to do my multiples down the side. So I'm going to use my skip counting knowledge by 12s. So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, and I'm just going to go to that. You could write out what you're multiplying by. So 12 obviously is when it's times 1, times 2, times 3, and so on, but it's completely up to you. So let's get started. Our first step is that we know this is 783, so it's made up of 7 hundreds, 8 tens, 3 ones. So what we're asking is 7 hundreds divided by 12. Now I know 12 is larger than our number of 700s, so we can't do that. So we cannot share 7 out to 12. And if we relate it back to our multiplication, 12 doesn't go into 7. So this is going to be 0. And remember, we line up our answer that we put in our quotient with the digit that we're working with. Now, because that's 0, we just need to bring our 7 over and rename it. So I'm not going to do any of the working out below because we now know that this becomes 78 tens. So if we look at this, 78 tens, how many can we share it amongst 12? Or we think, how many times does 12 go into 78? So I can use my multiples on the side that I see. I can see I've got 84 here. So that's past 78, and I've got 72, so that's the closest. And if I look, that's showing it's gone into it once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So I'm going to write the 6 up in my quotient in line with the digit that I'm working with. And it's really important before that we write that 0 because it is a place value holder. So now what we do, we divide it, which is our first step in our dirty monkeys smell bad, and I might just put that here so you guys can see it while we're working out. So 12 multiplied by 6, and if we have a little quick look, we knew that was 72. So we divided first, now we multiply. 12 multiplied by 6 is 72. I'll write that in a different color so we can clearly see. Now we must subtract, so we're up to our smell step. So 78 subtract 72. I do a line across, and it just helps me to organize my working out and see that that's my subtraction problem. So 78 subtract 72 is 6. And we write that answer there. Now, because we've finished working with our 78 tens, our next step was bad. That means to bring down. So we need to bring down our next digit because this 6 is saying out of that 78, we could not share 6 of them. There was 6 remainder left over. So bring our next digit down. That makes it 63. So can we share 63 amongst 12? Thinking, how many times does 12 go into 63? And if we have a look here, we can see it doesn't go exactly into it. That we've got 60, which is our closest, and that is going into it 5 times. So in our answer, we write 5, which is our division. Then we multiply. 12 multiplied by 5 is 60. So we write 60 underneath here. And then we subtract. 63 take away 60, and that's to see how many remainder we have left over, which is 3. The next step would be to bring down our next digit, but we don't have any more digits in our dividend. So this means that we have 3 remainder left over. So that's telling us from 783, we could not share it out equally, that there was 3 left over. So our quotient, 783 divided by 12, equals 65 remainder 3. So what you do is you just write out R3, or you can extend it by writing it as a fraction, as 3 over 12, because this is saying we need to divide this remaining 3 by 12, because that's what our divisor was. So this is the extended version of how you could write your remainder. Let's do one more problem together. This one I'm going to do a 4-digit one. That just means that we're going to have to take an extra step in our process of repeating our dirty monkey smell bad, because there will be an extra digit. So just clear my border. Okay, so the next one is 9,292 divided by 14. Remember, our dividend, our divisor, our quotient. So I can see I'm going to need to know my 14 times tables, but remember your 14 times tables are your 10s, add your 4s. So you can write it down on the side if you'd like. Write your multiples, so 14, 28, and so if I think of the third multiple, I would think what's 3 groups of 4, that's 12, and then add it to 30. So 42, 56, 70, 84, and I'm just going to stop there for now. I can always go back to it. Right, first step, 9. Can we share 9? Remember, this is our 9,000s. Can we share 9,000s amongst 14? No, 14's a larger number. So we're just going to straight away put that place value holder of 0 in our answer. That means that we need to rename this number and our 9 gets carried over. So I'm not going to do any working out because it would just be 92 take away 0. And we know we'd get 92 left over. So I'm just going to move straight on to the next step. Can we share 92 hundredths amongst 14? So think, how many times does 14 go into 92? And if I have a look here, I've got 84. If I was to add another 14 on it, it's going to be 98. So I know this is my multiple. It goes into it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So I'm going to write 6 in my answer in line. The next step is to multiply. So I multiply 14 by 6, which is 84. Write that down. Now I need to subtract. 92 take away 84. Write my line across is 8. Next step is to bring my number down. So bring down that 9. This now renames my new number to 89 tens. Remember, we got this 8 tens because there was 8 remainder left over. So 89, can we share it amongst 14? Think, how many times does 14 go into 89? Our nearest number again is 84. So it's 6 times. So we write our 6 in the answer. Next step is to multiply. 14 multiplied by 6 is 89. So we subtract 89 gives us, sorry, not 89. 89 subtract 84 gives us 5 remainder left over. Our very last digit that we need to bring down is our 2. This now means that we have our new number of 52 ones. We've renamed it. So can we share 52 amongst 14? Thinking, how many times does 14 go into 52? I can see here we've got 56. That's too large. So it's going to be 42. So that means it goes into it. 14 goes into 52 3 times evenly. So we write our 3 in our answer. Next, we multiply. 14 multiplied by 3 is 42. Then we subtract. 52 subtract 42 is 10. So this tells us, after dividing 9,292 divided by 14, we have 10 remaining left over. We cannot divide them into equal groups. 14 does not go equally into 9,292. So we just write R10, or to extend ourselves, we can write it as a fraction as 10 over 14, because we're dividing, our divisor is 14. So that means that we would have to break this 10 up into 14 parts. And that's where this would get into a decimal number. So our quotient is 663, remainder 10 over 14. Good luck, everyone.